Hey guys, prepared wander out in the woods today, and I want to talk about a kit that I put together for sportsmen, hikers, anybody who goes out in the woods. And it's a one container kit. And the whole reason I put this thing together is a buddy of mine over on the SE Knife Forum contacted me and was showing me a kit that he had seen online from a company that was basically a one container kit that had a cooking pot and all the things that you would need basically as a survival kit to spend the night in the woods. Now the term survival it's a little overused, it's a little played these days for sure, but the idea of having one kit that kind of covers all the bases in a lightweight portable package that you can grab and put into any bag or pack or keep in your truck or car is definitely interesting to me. So I wanted to take this kit that I saw online and basically replicate it with things that I had in my gearbox. And I have a lot of redundant stuff and things that I buy and experiment with and try out, and I put in different kits and things like that. So I had all this stuff readily available, but all these items I think you could pretty easily purchase either online or at a big box retail type store. And the kit that I put together is all based on this Stanley cook kit, and I'm going to show you this thing and show what it can do and what components are in it that make it I think a great option. So stick around. So here's the container. Now this stuff sack is something that I've had for a long time. It's just an old water bottle stuff sack, and I think one of the things I want to look for is finding a waterproof bag that's about this size that can hold this container, because I think that'll definitely help with making this even better. So this other survival kit that I saw online was from a company, and I'm trying to think of the name of it now. They make these like plastic pods, and they had this kind of all-in-one container survival kit based around one of their pods, and it had an aluminum cook pot and a stove, and then a few of your basic items that you always find in survival kits, which are button compasses and just all kinds of stuff that may or may not be of good quality, may not be necessary, I don't know, but I felt that I could build a better kit with the stuff that I had in my basement. So the first thing is the container, and that's the most important part. You have to have a good container to boil water, cook food, and for me, the Stanley Pot is a really good choice because of the height of it. You could go with a shorter cup, a smaller cup, something more lightweight, titanium or aluminum, but this is stainless steel. It's a good size, so you can get a lot of stuff in it. It has a nice locking lid, and if you switch out the tab on it and put a split ring, you could actually hang the thing on the fire with the lid on and suspend it over a fire that way. So nice option. And that's just, these things are bomb proof and they're cheap. It's like 15 bucks, something like that. So this is the container that I went with, and I went with it primarily because of how much stuff it can carry. Now the second part of the kit, and it's something that they even had in their kit, they had this kind of stove base that held espet tabs, and it seemed kind of unnecessary because I don't think you could do a lot with it outside of just using an espet tab. Maybe you could, I don't know, because I haven't had one to test, but to me it was very similar to something that I can build out of hardly anything, which is a soup can stove. I've done a video on one of these. Very easy to make. This is just a stewed tomato can. Just punch a bunch of holes through it, cut out a feed port, and some bigger holes at the bottom for airflow, and now you've got a stove that can burn espet tabs. It can burn wood. If you put an alcohol stove in here, you can do that. There's different heights of holes, so the stakes that I have with this can go in there, and I can adjust the height of the pot. Let me show you how that works real quick. Okay, there's our kit. There's everything in there. This is going to cover all the bases. The 5Cs, the 10Cs, all that stuff the 10 essentials, whatever people want to call them these days. These are the things that I feel are necessary to make your life a little bit more comfortable in an emergency situation as a sportsman. Okay, so now how the stove works, it's very simple. Some old stainless steel tent stakes. They go in the holes, front to back. And now you got a support. Now, for an S-bit tab, I would lower it. Like that. And now, you can see, the stove's just about level with this. But there's enough room in here to get an S-bit tab, but there's enough clearance to actually heat the bottom and not smother it. So this is a very inexpensive stove that you can build at home to work with this pot or any other nesting cup you have, and now you have a multi-purpose stove that can burn several different types of fuel, which is great in a situation where you're going to be overnight, because once you burn through your S-bit tabs, you're going to need to start collecting sticks, and this will burn twigs, no problem. Alright, so the contents of this kit, let's go through it real quick. Bank line, tea candle, emergency space blanket, which this can be used as a tarp or as insulation. Wrap yourself in. Hot spark ferro rod, can opener, safety pin, and a small task light. Got fishing line and a hook, as well as a small fishing kit in here. This has hooks, leaders, sinkers, flies, some additional line, just a variety of small fishing items. And here is water purification tablets, and then these are stand-up bags. Call them whirl packs. And these will actually open up, have a zipper closure at the top, and then they will stand up on their own, and you can fill these with water and then put a tablet in it, and it'll disinfect the water that's in this bag. There's some Band-Aids, steri strips, some alcohol wipes. This is all in a sealed bag. Gorilla tape wrapped on a credit card. A signal mirror with a protective case, and an ACR whistle, very loud. UCO stormproof matches, a Schrade lockback pocket knife, butane lighter that has been zip tied off so it doesn't leak in the container. and then some braided steel wire. All right, so real basic items, right? But all these items are can be used to at least help you get through the evening if you're stuck out in the woods, in an emergency, if you're hunting, and for whatever reason you can't get back to your truck. You know, at least you have something in your pack, because a lot of times what I find is my pack is my survival gear. It's got all the things I need for the day. It's got a cook kit and my knife and a tarp and food and all this other stuff. But if I'm switching back between different packs, or if I am not planning on taking all my gear with me, let's say I'm, have this in my truck, I have this kit in my truck, and someone decides, hey, let's go explore these woods, let's go for a hike, let's go do something, and I don't have all my gear with me, and I don't want to take all, the big pack that I usually carry. At least this is something that I can grab and I can throw in a day pack very easily and forget about it. It's not designed to, be camping gear. It's not going to, sustain me for weeks on end. It's not for bug out or any of that kind of stuff, that all that kind of crap. So it is just an emergency backup kit that can sit in a pack and you can forget about. And if you keep it packed and you don't mess with it, and everything's, all the contents are there, you're going to have at least something that's going to get you by. And it's certainly going to be a lot better than Altoid tin kits. Those are fun to put together because they're kind of an experiment in futility, but they're fun to do, and they're just so small, and there's just not that much stuff you can put into them that's really going to be like, oh, I want to spend a night in the woods with this. But with this kit, there's all the bases are covered. So let's just go over the items now a little bit more in depth and break them out by what they do. So the first thing that is always important to me is, and where do my SPIT tabs go? Okay, there's one thing that's missing from the kit. And I must have, when I packed it up this morning, I must have left it on my workbench, but I usually carry 2 SPIT tabs in this kit with it. So we've got SPIT tabs for starting a fire. We got a butane lighter. We have a tea candle, which can start a fire, but can also help keep you warm, and if you're camped out somewhere in the woods, you at least have a little bit of light. And of course, stormproof matches. So this stuff, along with the SPIT tabs, that's a lot of fire starting capabilities. It's redundant. They do different things, but they all work. Oh, and then also the ferro rod. So now you have multiple ways to start a fire. Okay. So that's one important thing to have. The next thing is some type of shelter. Well, we have the space blanket. Not the greatest way to make a shelter, but it will do in a pinch. It will keep the rain off of you if you have to. So that'll work. Some type of materials to build things or to secure things. We have stainless steel wire, so we can hang our pot with that. We have bank line, so we can hang our tarp. And we have Gorilla Tape to repair items, repair the space blanket, repair our jacket, our shoe, whatever we need. We've got something to repair it with. We need a cutting implement. Pocket knife will do the job. It's big enough that it'll clean small game or fish easily. You can certainly, if the knife's sharp enough, you can make shavings with it. You can whittle tent stakes or pegs with it. It's not as great as a fixed blade, but it'll do the job. So you got your pocket knife. Next thing is first aid. Minimal first aid, but if you have small cuts, abrasions, this even has steri strips, so this can close some bigger wounds. That's really important so you don't get infection while you're out. And then we're going to need some type of signaling. We've got that covered with a signal mirror and a whistle. We are going to need the ability to collect water and to purify water. So we have a couple methods. We have the water purification tablets and bags, but we also have our stainless steel pots. Now we can boil water as well. And then, as just kind of a bonus added item, we've got a small fishing kit. So if we need to catch some pretty small fish, you're not getting anything big on this, but certainly enough to cook up and to feed yourself for a few days. And then just as a couple added items, there's a can opener just in case you have a can of something in your pack and you have a means of opening it. A safety pin. Now a safety pin, I don't really bring this along for sewing. I don't have a sewing kit in here because I don't think it's really necessary. I don't see the need to sew something up while I'm out trying to survive for one night. A safety pin to me is more of a medical item, because now I can dig out splinters, I can puncture blisters if I need to, and if I have to secure something like a blanket or a coat on me, I can do that with this. So having a safety pin is a multi-purpose item for me. And then the little task light, you're not going to light your way very well, but if you're trying to get your gear together and it's getting dark, at least you can use this to look into your pack and see what you have. So it's a nice backup. Now everything on here is sitting on this 5x7 tarp, and I did a video on this already. This is the Bushcraft Outfitters mess tarp. So if you take this kit with this tarp, you'll have everything you need to spend the evening in the woods easily. This will definitely get you by. And what I pack with this tarp is some Kevlar line that's tied up already for my tie-outs, and then this is my Ridgeline kit right here, and then 4 titanium stakes. Alright guys, I hope you found that useful. As always, please like, subscribe, share, and we will see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.